Okay, okay. Can you guys see the screen po?
Yes, malinaw naman sa akin. Start na
Okay.
tayo.
Oh, start na tayo. Para ano. All right. So, I think this is more directed towards yung new traders natin, Ezekiel and Nicholas. But for the rest, maybe ano na lang tayo, refresher na lang. So the one that we have tonight is for support and resistance technique. So basically, what we want to um, what we want to achieve today is in terms of identifying zones and analyzing price, and then after that, how you trade support and resistance and how you manage your risk. All right. So let's go straight to the topic that we want to talk about today. So support and resistance is straightforward. I think some of you have already read about it, especially if you went to the website that I told you, babypips.com. So support and resistance is basically is a very basic fundamentals in terms of for the forex traders. And this is obviously based on technical analysis. So let me remind you again, in terms of forex trading, there are three different types of how you analyze the market when it comes to forex trading. One is fundamental. This is more on um, understanding and analyzing geopolitical situations between, um, especially the superpowers katulad ng US, China, Russia, and so on. And it can also be involved in other countries as well that that has potential like crisis or natural disasters, so on anything that has an impact on a country's economy. Let's say for Japan, let's say there's a tsunami and so on. So that has an impact on their economy. So it can has an impact as well on the forex. So that's fundamental. Technical analysis is obviously what we're learning today. One of the techniques that we use for technical analysis. In layman terms, technical analysis is the study of patterns of what has happened before, and in the future we can predict where the market is gonna go. So that's exactly yung technical analysis. So here, when it comes to support and resistance, or SNR in short, we're looking for areas where the price bounces and returns at some point. So if you look at the screen, as you can see, the one especially when the price bounces off on the higher levels, that's what we call resistance, and when it bounces off a certain level below, that's what you call support. So usually these are the areas where the price has a tendency to either reverse or break through. So these are some of the. This is just an example of how it would look like, but in the real chart, it's quite different. This one is just a a generic way to show what is resistance and what is support. So how does it work? Okay, so usually the price moves in swings. So the market moves up and down, repeating the cycle, for example. And at certain points, let's say for the resistance area, at certain points, it react at the key levels. Let's say, for example, the price rose up and it reacts to this point and it went back down, and then it tries to goes back again and reacts again on that place. So basically, there's a strong resistance at that point, so the price has to go back down. So usually, these are the areas that you need to take into account, and especially when you're looking at support and resistance. I'm not talking about. I mean, the higher the time frame, the stronger the price action that happens in those zones. So I think one of the most important thing that you need to understand when it comes to chart analysis and so on is one, we call the what do you call those, candle retest, rejection and breakout. Later on, I will highlight that on the charts later on. So there are around four different types of support and resistance. One is horizontal level, so this is what usually a lot of people use. And next one is trend line. So these are dynamic levels created by connecting the high points or the low points of a particular market movement. Some people use moving average, so this is also dynamic. Um, so dynamic meaning it changes over time as price moves. And then the other thing that other people use, I kind of use this as well, round numbers. So I just set certain round numbers so that it helps us a lot in terms of where price goes up and down. All right, so one of the most important thing when you're analyzing the market is you need to identify um, certain areas in the market where you know there's a price action about to happen, where there is a resistance or support, and from that you can derive, you can come up with high probability trade setups. All right, and later on I will share a little bit of how you can use technology now to let you know if the price that's reached, because usually support and resistance, you need to wait for the setup to happen, and sometimes you need to wait for the price to reach a certain point. Okay. um, Next one is how to trade support and resistance. So the first thing that we will do is we'll identify the zones. Later on, I'll open the chart and I'll provide you with some examples, and then you guys can do it yourselves as well. And then after the class, then maybe you can send those images at the community, so at least I understand that I can see whether you understand how to mark or so on. And then we'll wait for price action at the particular zones that we marked, and then we plan the trades and so on. And then I'll discuss how you manage and execute those plans. So that's how you trade support and resistance. So let's just say this is an example. Okay, so you have resistance at the top, you have support at the bottom. So right now, when the price reach the support level, if the price rejects or bounce that area, then you know the potential area that it has to go to is back to the resistance, isn't it? So later on, I will show you guys how to create an entry, and then based on that entry, how you manage that trade and lock your profits as well. Okay, give me a second. Okay, saglit lang po. Let me move to the charts. Saan charts natin? Okay. Kita niyo po yung chart? Okay. Hindi pa?
Wala pa.
Oh,
Wala
okay,
pa.
sorry. Sa OBS pala yan. Ngayon, okay na.
Yes, okay na.
So, usually, when you do analysis, it's based on you need to identify, or you need to know yourself. One is, are you a swing trader, or are you a intraday trader, or are you a scalper? So based on that, you will need your analysis is based on the time frames. So for the people who are swing traders, obviously their time frames is monthly, weekly, and daily charts. Let me just remove these objects muna. All right. Okay, so usually those are the areas that you will analyze. If you're an intraday trader, then you go for daily H1 and H4. And then for scalpers, usually M5, M15, and M1. Okay, so those are the price levels. So for now po, let's go and yung simpleng ano lang, simple time frame lang for now. But obviously the same tawag nito, the same technique is ano used. So some people they just use candlesticks to mark. Let's say for example, as you can see, usually you want to zoom out para makita nyo po yung buong picture when you do this kind of things. So as you can see, there's a certain level dito na give me a second. Ayusin mo natin to. So there's a particular level that the price has always rejected po. If you can see that. So let me mark that zone. So that's how you mark the resistance at the moment. So right now it has been tested for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About 6 times po na test na siya in terms of the zone. And in terms of the support, meron po siyang few areas. One is this area, if you can see. Every time na nag-hit yung price dito, the price always bounce. So to make it easier po, you change the color. At least alam nyo po that this is a support. Okay. Kalimutan ko ng kulay ba yun? Ito ba? Okay. Alright. So usually that's how you ano, and also over here meron pang another area sa baba. But as you can see right now, if you look at this particular area, it looks like it's traveling from one high area to another area po. Uh, is that clear? Do you guys understand this pattern? So as you can see right now over here, if somebody has sold, kapag umabot na dito, then obviously you know this is a potential take profit. Okay, this is let's say if you're selling, this is where you should put your take profit if you are trading, scalping or intraday and so on. So it makes a lot more sense I mean this is one way of doing it, marking your charts. The other way of that is you can change the charts. So there are three different charts. One is bar chart, candlesticks, and line chart. So other people they use line chart po to mark this area. So yung mga dulo na yan po, the points, those are the place where you mark. But for me, I'm more than happy to just use the candlesticks. So usually how I do is I mark it where a lot of yung mga needles po. Let's say yung candlesticks wick or shadow po. Doon ako nagma-mark usually. So the more points, that's where the rough area is. So that's a lot more clearer for me. So now we can see one area as a support and one area for resistance. So are you guys clear with this one?
Yes.
Everybody's okay, right?
Yes.
Ezekiel, Nicholas, okay lang kayo? Okay. So let's go to much higher time frame, for example. Kasi kapag monthly masyado siyang there's not much of information that we can see from monthly when it comes to support and resistance. For weekly, not much din, pero there's something there. If we zoom in, I can already see a little bit of meron na tayong information. For example, I would say that this area is a support. So every time the market reach to this area, the price will bounce. So it has been tested once. So that's one. And then you already know that the potential resistance is here. But you're talking about weekly. So it's a very big time frame. So it depends really on what particular trader you are. Saglit lang po. Sayang, na-miss ko yung entry. Saglit lang po. Okay. Okay. All right, so we go down to, let's say, daily. So daily, I think there's much more of information here. So as you can see, kanina we were marking everything based on the, so we'll go with support muna. So as you can see right now, there's a support level here. Parang parehas lang ang kulay ah. Let me, okay. Oh, kapal. Sorry. Okay. So that's a support area. As you can see, there's a reaction here from this initially. If you guys, yung last week na what we've learned last week, yung structure po. This is the highest during that time. Tapos dun, you have one high, and then you have higher low, and then you have higher high, higher low. Hang on. Uh, dito pala. So, yan. Let's say ito yung high natin. Then you have a low. Ito, apologies na lang po kasi we have yung ano po, yung bagong trader, di ba? So at least it gives them a little bit of ano, information. So usually when you have this structure, then you know this is an uptrend market kasi yung ano, meron tayong higher high, higher lows. And again another higher high and then higher low dito. That's the support levels that we've seen so far. And then sa taas po, let me change the color. Let's use yellow na lang po dito. So this is a resistance area. So as we can see, we've seen before the when the price went up there twice, the price retracted again. So this is one way of um, you know marking your tawag nito, marking your support and level area for daily. Ito, are you guys clear?
Yes, clear naman.
Okay. Nicholas,
Yes, sir.
Ezekiel, okay. So another way you can actually look into is there is a there is a particular structure here in daily. So the way I see it right now, if we mark this area, so this is what we call trend lines. So this is another form of support and resistance. So as you can see, there's a particular pattern over there. Okay. So right now, if you are able to see, the price is roughly in the middle of this area. So it either can go around here or back to the lower point to go back up. So the price is practically moving in this manner. Okay. So now it's just right around this area. So we don't know this price is either gonna go back up like that or it goes back down like this before it tries again to go back up. So that's, I mean, the way we see it right now. I know right now it's a bit confusing, but I hope it's not too much. But I hope you guys can see what I was trying to mark there. So there's you ano, horizontal line, and then you also have trend lines. Okay, and then when you look at what we've studied last week, if you guys can remember, we studied certain patterns, right? Um, One of those pattern is what we call double top. So usually double top is sell setup or double bottom for a buy setup. So usually that's the case for that. So whenever there's the first high and then there's another high, then you wait for the price to check the neck. Okay, so the way I see it, the neck is roughly over this area. So this area was tested again over there for the sell entry. Okay, so if you can see, there's a price action over here, and then it was tested again. Parang too much ata. Baka, did I lose you guys already?
No.
Okay, you guys are still okay. All right, give me a second. Let me see the object list, and let's try maybe a different market, because this one is gold. So maybe let's go for Bitcoin. Um, properties. Okay, let me remove the indicators. Okay, so let's go for what do you call this? The from the higher time frame. So if you can see, this one is a really good example of support and resistance over here. So if you can see, come on, all right. So this is the resistance before. So the price we're looking at monthly. Okay, the price has has tested that this area at least twice, and it returned back down, and then it finally tested over here. Okay, so it finally tested over here. If you can see, this is a clear breakout. Okay, over this one. So it breaks the highest point over here, for example. Okay, okay, it breaks the highest point over here, and then after it breaks, it retested again the area for it to go back up. So this is what we call an SNR flip. So basically, this zone used to be resistance, and after the breakout, it becomes a support. Is that clear? Do you guys understand this flip? So basically, in April 2021 and August 2021, this area is the resistance. So every time the price reached that place, it went back down. It tested again, went back down again, and then finally in April 2024, it managed to break through. So this is what we call a breakout. This is what we call a rejection. So after that, it retested after the breakout. It retested back the zone, and then it goes back up. And then now, after a while, the price went back down again, and this becomes another support. Give me a second. Let me show you this one. So if you can see, the highest point over here becomes a resistance for some time. The price tries to go up to one, two, three, four times, and on the fifth time it managed to break through, and that has become what do you call this, a resistance at some point. This is probably for a lower time level, but over here this one is very clear that it become the SNR flip. So it was a resistance before, there's a breakout, and it has become a support. Okay, is that clear?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, sige. All right, give me a second. Okay. All right, let me go to weekly and see. So the weekly has a much more, I mean, much more information there. You can see much more, you know, price actions and so on. The one that I mentioned to you earlier on. Over here, it becomes a support area. Okay, that's a support area. When the price hit that point, it goes back down and then it goes back up. And then after a while, it tested that area again and it becomes another support. The price went back up. Okay, and then after a while, the price breakthrough. This is a breakout. Then it's a SNR flip. It was a support before and becomes a resistance after. So right now it reaches that point. Okay, so right now it's playing between these two areas. This is the resistance and this is the support for weekly. Okay, let me go and see daily. Okay, so this is the daily chart. So basically, as you can see, this has become a support area, and as soon as the price breakthrough, this becomes as SNR flip. So now this area is a resistance area for the daily time frame as well. Okay. Let me see H4. Let me remove the objects. Actually, just for the newbies po, actually these objects that you place, let's say you place this object in monthly, and if you want it to be viewable only in monthly or weekly, you can go to the properties. You can go to the visualization. So you remove all time frames. So meaning I can only see this in weekly and monthly, for example. So if I click OK, this this chart will not be, this chart here will not be able to see in H4 and below. So monthly is still there, weekly is still there, daily is gone already, and then H1, H4 is gone already. So the one at the top I didn't put anything. So let me put that as well. Change the parameters. I can only see it for weekly and monthly. So now if you move to daily, it's all gone. So it doesn't screw up your your eyes. Okay, are you guys okay with that? Because a lot of two of you are new traders, so at least you know how to use the MetaTrader much easier.
Yes.
Okay, let me let me go to MH1 for example. So H1, so usually when you do your chart analysis, you need to zoom out so you'll be able to see the charts. So over here, if you if you place this, maybe H4 or H1, so you can already see the market structure from this point. H4 it was an uptrend. Okay, it was an uptrend until a certain point. Then it managed to break through. Then now is a downtrend. Okay, so I hope that's clear. So you guys can mark those areas. So it's easier for you to to mark those zones. Let me delete this one. So usually if you want to use the candlestick, or using line chart or candlestick or line chart, that's the most easiest one. But usually I just use candlesticks, to be honest. But you can see right now, one of the reasons why the price return is it's on the trend line as well, but at the same time it's also at the support area. Okay, so if you see this area here, that's a support area. It has been before as well, over here, support, and then breakout, and then it becomes resistance. So this is an SNR flip. If you look at daily, let me see. So as you can see, it doesn't show here, but basically it was a resistance at some point over here, and then it becomes support. And then here's there's another breakout, and then it becomes resistance. So on a lower time frame, you can see the story much more clearer. Okay. So this one of the reasons why price retrace back is it's on the support and it's also on the trend line. Are you guys okay with this?
Yes.
Okay. So I think another example that I can show you here is engulfing. There's an engulfing setup over here. There's an um, as you can see, there's this block over here. So that's a resistance area for as long as it's valid. So for example, if you mark this area, so if you use line, you'll be there for as long as you don't delete it. Okay, so in the future it will go, one day the price will come back here. If you have this line set up, you will, it will remind you that at some point before, this price is the resistance. So the first time it reach it back, then there's a potential of market reversal. So that's how you, what do you call this, plan for your trades. Okay. All right. So now, how do we trade SNRs, for example? So again, this is one of the examples that I'm showing you right now. That actually right now this is a point of entry for this, because one, you are at the SNR flip zone, and then you have the trend line as well, and then you have a clear rejection of price over here. So you already have, I mean, this is already a confirmation that this zone has been rejected, and then the price went back down. So this is potentially the entry. So let's just say that you entry at this point, for example. Your stop loss should be a bit higher than the zone. Okay, so let's say you entry over here, it's a bit higher than the zone, and your risk to reward should be at least 1 is to 2 or 1 is to 3. But in this case, your take profit should be over here, isn't it? The earliest one is probably at this level, because you know the price has, you see this area here, that's a support, that's a support zone. Let me see, let me just change that to blue, so at least you know that the price potentially is gonna go here. Okay, so from this, let's say your entry point is here to here, that's about 70, so about 700 pips. This is H4, 70 pips. Up to down here, you have about 200 pips. So that's about 1 is to 3, your risk and reward. So that's how you entry trade. So you're risking about $7 for one cent entry, but your profit is about $20. So far you guys okay?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so no any questions, Nicholas?
Wala po.
Wala, clear. What about sino to? Alex. Alex is here. How are you, Alex? Okay, so this one is clear. Let's go to what else? Meron po tayong chart na gusto nating tingnan. Anybody? Do you guys want to see any other charts?
Yes.
Or what do you want to see?
More example on the double top.
Double top.
Mm.
Okay, give me a second. Um, okay, all right. Let me see if I can find a few more examples. I'll delete this one. Okay, are you guys okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what I need you guys to do after this session is, I need you guys to go to gold or Bitcoin. I need you to do your analysis on SNR. Don't be afraid to make any mistakes because the more mistakes you make, the better you'll become. And there's no money at stake. So just show whatever that you can for now. Okay. Let me see if I can find. This one is double top. Okay. There's a double top. It's clear double top. Um, Let me find another market to see. Maybe GU. Uh, okay. Let me see. Tagal ko na hindi tinignan tong GU. Puro gold lang kasi. Come on. Okay. Sorry, it's still loading its data. So let's see. Come on. Let me open another one. UJ. Wow, UJ is quite nice. So this one is quite clear when you do SNR. Um, so practically you have this area for support and then you have this area for resistance. Okay, so here you can see, right, there's a breakout and then the price came back up here, it becomes support. So this is resistance and then it becomes support after the breakout. So the price reject, and then after that it becomes a breakout over there. Let me see for daily. Pangit ang daily ah. Okay. So this one is a good example of what we call an engulfing setup. So this one you have, sorry. So you have one candle being eaten by one sell candle. So this is a buy candle, and then this is the sell candle. So this is one versus one. So engulfing is either one versus one or one versus two. There's two example here. The first engulfing is this. So you have uh, one versus one as well over here. So one versus one, and then you have one versus one over here. So usually for this is you mark the candle. This is your block for selling. So every time the price comes here, this is a selling area, and your stop loss should be at least higher than the most highest price. So that should be your where you should put your stop loss for trades. Wait lang ah. Okay, let me. Okay, so let's say for example, dito tayo magwe-wait for sell. When the price goes inside here, that's when we put our sell. So and then our stop loss is over here. So how big this zone is probably around 100 pips. So 100 pips is if you sell zero point 0.1 here, if it reaches here, it's minus $10.50. And if it reaches here, minus $14, for example. So your cut loss is $14, and your take profit should be the lowest area, roughly about 31. So 14 minus and 31 is roughly 1 is to 2 yung risk and reward natin. Uh, is that clear? So that's how I would go for this trade. I will go for sell in this area. My stop loss should be at least higher than the highest point, just a little bit higher, and then I will aim for take profit over here. You guys okay? Clear? Ezekiel, Nicholas, okay ba? Clear ba tayo?
Yes, yes, clear.
Okay, so that's engulfing. So if you see right on the daily just now, the price is not able to come here because there's a resistance area here. Because this is a support before, now it becomes a breakout, then it becomes a resistance. So it's the story is at the lower time frame. So if you look at the lower time frame, then you will see this area. Okay, this area, I every time the price reach, give me a second, let me fix this. Okay, every time the price reach this zone, the price rejects it. It goes back up, goes back up. So this is a support, and then eventually the price break out, and then every time it reaches there, it rejects. It rejects. It, it makes sense, right? So even though the in the daily the price has not reached this area yet, but because there's in a lower time frame, there's a setup there. There's a SNR flip as well. Okay, so now there's a clear breakout over here. Is a potential of the price going up there. Okay. All good, guys.
Yes po.
Okay, that's awesome. So for tonight, that's the SNR that I was telling you about. And then on the next one, what I need from you guys is you go back and look at your chart. You, regardless is tonight or tomorrow or whenever, I need you guys, whatever we have learned, every time you see the chart, you mark your chart, you send to the group chat. There is a group chat in the WhatsApp called Forex Talks. You can paste it there. You can just tag me or anybody. Is this correct? Is this support and resistance marking correct or not? So at least like you what do you call this? You practice and at least let other people view it as well. So at the end of the day, even if you are learning yourself, when you post it to the group, the other people who are shy, they will also learn. Okay? So I need you guys to do that as well and try to find other setups that you already have learned. Okay, so for the next one, we will learn SNR we've done already. For the next session, that will be probably today's Tuesday, so maybe we'll do one on Friday. We will learn engulfing and also dominant breakout. So that one we will learn how to set up and also I will teach you guys how to use Fibonacci. Okay? That good? So if possible, right now, if you can help me get more people to join our session, so at least it's worth it for a lot of people to learn as well. All right, Friday night we'll learn that, and if possible, we'll do live trade as well for those people who wants to trade together. Then we can do that as well if there's a an opportunity. All right, thank you so much. Unfortunately, we'll cut it to just 1 hour. Tomorrow you guys have work, and I have another meeting after this. All right, thank you so much and good night. Don't
Eh,
for
maraming
Good night.
salamat
uh,
po.
Good
don't
night.
don't forget your homework, okay? You post it on the group.
Opo.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Sige, sige. Bye bye.
Okay, bye-bye.